Racing! This is drama! Oh, he's gone! He's gone!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sector 1 Sim Racing, the home of Premier Racing on Gran Turismo 7. I am your host for this evening's festivities, Karen, aka Brent, and joining me in the box tonight, he did a fantastic job in the first race. He's up for round 2. It's Luke, aka Carbon Boy. How are you going there, Luke?
Pardon me, I'm doing quite well, Karen. How's yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Just had a very, very busy Sunday. I hope everyone else has had a very, very good day as well. So to get underway for tonight's festivities, what we've been doing over the last few Sunday nights is bringing back the Group 4s, which has been a very, very fantastic spectacle. A lot of the guys that do race in the main game, and even a couple of community drivers, have jumped in and got behind the wheel, and there's been a lot of testing going on. There's also been a lot of great camaraderie, some fantastic racing, and of course, beautiful liveries to boot. Now, whereabouts are we racing tonight, Luke?
We are in the southern part of the Americas at the beautiful Interlagos circuit in Brazil.
Ooh.
And the weather's looking quite nice out there. Makes me want to be there myself.
We're used to it being quite wet at Interlagos. A lot of the races we've seen in the past, especially with Formula 1, have been wet weather spectacles. So we're going to have a fantastic night, of course. It's just the one race, I do believe.
Yes, just the one race. It's a 40-minute race, racing soft tyres. And I'm thinking the guys, based off the last couple of rounds, won't be pitting at the halfway mark, but they'll probably be pushing to push that first stint a little bit longer, maybe to around the 23, 24-minute mark. That way they have fresher tyres towards the end of the race, which was certainly my undoing last round.
Ooh. I haven't had a run in these cars yet, so I'm looking very, very forward over the next couple of weeks to getting behind the wheel, of course, when I'm not sitting here in the comms box, which we spent a couple of days cleaning up. There was just cans all over the floor, and we've got some brand new fancy software here and a couple of brand new LG monitors to boot. Also, they've replaced the big red button that we used to start races with a Sector 1 logo now, which is a very, very nice feeling. And nice. I tell you what, we spent so much time cleaning that we lost track of time. Now, in terms of qualifying tonight, Interlagos, how long will the qualifying last?
The qualifying will be a 15-minute session, and the drivers have been instructed that once that 15 minutes is up, they finish their lap and then pull over to the side of the track once they are done. And then once all of the drivers have completed their final lap, that's when we will get the race started and kick things off.
So, being our second night together, I'm just going to say, guys, if there's anything not right with audio, we're just dusting off cobwebs, we're just getting into the swing of things. So, at any stage, just let me know how things are going over on my side of the fence, and also in terms of Luke's as well. Still a work in progress as to how we do things here in terms of the streaming side, and transcending into a new era of Gran Turismo as well with GT7 and the software that we use to stream as well. We don't have as much access, unfortunately, due to GT7. We don't have a keyboard section, so we can't do replays, and we unfortunately cannot, what's the best way of saying, instantaneously look at other cars in the background. So we're going to be doing our absolute best tonight, as we always do here at Sector 1, of course, with our fantastic racing. Everybody in the chat, good evening, Sean. Hope you're well, mate. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to getting qualifying underway, I reckon. What do you say, Luke?
We are just about to do that now. I'm Just communicating with the drivers, letting them know what's about to happen.
Now, I missed the V8 supercars as well, so if anyone's got any feedback on that, who won and who did what. I know there was a massive crash in Super 2s today, which would have been very, very interesting. And we've got MotoGP tonight as well. Haven't seen the results of qualifying yet, and we'll watch it after this stream, so don't spoil it. Anyway, let's get into the swing of things tonight. And as we go into the track here, we'll just run you through the field for tonight's event as well, guys. Of course, can't use the keyboard. So, first up, rank VF. I do believe he races for, correct me if I'm wrong, it's Racing Cars Like Legends. In there with 1 second in the Chevy called Bacchus. That is a fantastic looking just rock up himself. The Stranger, P3, had a very strong run on Thursday night. Looking to get another big result here. Got Debrev jumping in behind the wheel of the Jag tonight. Very interesting choice. And he's been looking very, very forward to this one. Along with Grassies, who's just a bit how you're going in terms of internet connection there, but we're just going to grin and bear it, of course. Race for Lucky's Lawn Care. Got the team owner for Bacchus. It's Dadson. Now, the question is, how's he going to go tonight? Is he up? We hope so. Got Filthy sitting in the pits as well. Of course, racing for Blacklight Motorsport. And that is probably the best looking livery. I don't want to be biased. I don't want to pump egos here, but that is a cracking looking livery. Got White Hips Brewski in P10 there. Just in the pits as well. He's also picked the AMG Mercedes SLS. A very old school car. Looking forward to seeing how he goes tonight. Hey Doggy in the Jag. Tell you what, that's an evil looking livery as well in the matte black Jag. Got Womble, who's looking very, very forward to getting behind the wheel of the BMW M4 once again. He's had a lot of issues in terms of Gran Turismo 7 not liking his connections and hardware. So he says he's got an absolutely beautiful fix. So we'll see on how that one goes tonight. The team owner of Red Mist Racing, of course. So,
alrighty, let's get these boys underway with a quick test start, and then we'll have qualifying underway.
No worries. So we'll just flick back to the slideshow for now. Tell you what, this brand new strip the boys have put together here at the Sector 1's Combox is absolutely beautiful. There's even a couple of different new buttons there that we can play and tune with, and I'm looking very, very forward to somewhere down the line putting in a soundboard so we can have different sounds, we can bleep the swearing, and we can even have a Troid at the moment button. So I'm looking very forward to putting those ones in. Now, who do you think is going to be the big one in this one? Who's looked good in the practice sessions so far there, Luke?
In the practice sessions that I was a part of rather briefly, both Gur and the Stranger were looking very, very racy. I haven't seen a lot from VF. Petey Pops, aka Ivor Biggin, he was surprisingly, to me at the very least, in a good way of course, surprisingly quick. So I wouldn't put him out of the running.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be very, very hard to pick a winner in this one, and we know what these guys race like in previous history. These boys play for keeps, and they do some entertaining racing, that's for sure. We've seen the likes of Dadson and Brewer go head-to-head and absolutely knock 7 bells out of each other, which will be bloody entertaining watching these group wars. It'll be a return to old grounds for them. Whenever you're ready, Luke, you can hit the black S1 button here and start the qualifying.
Qualifying is underway.
Beautiful. So we'll just switch over to racing. Let's go. I'll tell you what.
Turn fault.
I'll tell you what, these buttons are getting very, very easy to handle now. So,
all right. There's a downside I've noticed so far to being in the lobby is that I don't have an active timer in the bottom left corner of the screen like I normally would, so I'm just going to be doing this manually.
No, that's all right. the old Samsung Galaxy S3 sitting there. If you want to use the stopwatch from that, you just let us know when the qualifying's over. We'll keep the suspense up and going. And I think we might jump on. Who's at the front of the queue here?
Dadson is the first cab out of the ranks. With, I believe it is a stranger.
Yeah,
Right behind him. No, it is Pruski. Sorry, my bad.
I'll tell you what, it's a fantastic looking field, this. Some of these guys have just taken their matters into their own hands and decided to wrap them up, but they look phenomenal. Anyway, we'll get started with a lap of the Interlagos Circus, one of the very, very best tracks in the world, if you ask me. Formula 1 cars usually do about 1:10. That's in the old spec. We don't know how fast they'll go this time around. As we come up to Curve 1, this entrance, you've got to take a wide line and then clip the apex late as you come into the center S chicane. Very easy to plant the power down too early and lose it as you come out of Curve de Sol. Absolutely flat to the floor here. The Aston Martin, of course, very, very powerful in a straight line. Good brakes to boot. Coming into the Cedar de Lago. You can plant that out nice and early if you wish. All depends on the understeer of the car, and each car is different, that's for sure. Coming up to Ferry.
Very much so.
Ooh, yeah, that's very, very true. All these cars are very different in the way they handle as well. Coming into SA. Dadson just running wide. And then we've got Pinarino. Very, very easy to clip the curb there and get some oversteer. The car unsettles quite difficult. Coming up to Bico de Pato. Upsetting quite difficult. That was quite difficult.
If you're in the M4, you don't even need to clip the curb for it to unsettle. It'll just do it all by itself.
Coming up to the blind Junkau. And famous corner, of course, for Timo Glock moment. We'll leave it at that. And then coming up to the main straight, of course. It's a long one, and there's a very, very good chance of overtaking. Dadson comes across the line, sets a 1:33.7, which is immediately bettered by Prua, who does a 1:33.4. Great lap. Bruce just jumped into P2.
That's a fantastic effort by Pruski. I was in a practice lobby with him earlier, and he was getting low 34s and seeming to struggle a little bit, so it's good to see he's either found the setup or the lines he needs to take a good 6-7 tenths of a second off his lap time. That's fantastic.
Tell you what,
and I'm not biased at all because he's my team owner at all. No, not at all.
I'll tell you what, that livery of the SLS AMG of Killers really, really stands out, doesn't it? It's got
the very, very popping purple.
Very bright purple. And of course, here in Sector 1, we're known for purple liveries that pop quite a lot.
Yes, it does bring back some fond memories of the Aussie Hampton racing.
I'll tell you what, they had some fantastic looking Porsches. I'll give them that. As got Benny sitting in P8 at the moment in the Golf liveried SLS. A fair few people picking the SLS tonight, which is an interesting choice.
Speaking of Aussie Hampton, one of their former drivers, VF, goes top of the table with a 1:33.1, if you don't mind.
That is a
VF, of course. My old... we've had some great battles together in the past. Very clean, very fair, and very fast racer. It's good to see him back out there.
That's very true. I raced against him once in Interlagos, Autopolis, back in the M3 days when we did the Cat 2 M3 GT3s, and he surprised a lot of people with not just his pace, but the way he goes about it. As Grassies goes to the top with a 32.950.
Oh.
I think the slipstream helped him quite a lot in that aspect.
He's gone the clever route and found someone to slipstream off. Who is he behind?
Filthy's gone P6 at the moment in that black light Viper, and I'll tell you what, that is very, very striking looking thing.
Womble's had a big moment. He is around.
Oh, and we've just caught the last of it. Unfortunately, owing to GT7, we cannot get the replays, so we do apologise. Evening, good dog. Hope you're well, mate.
Benier is currently carrying a half-second penalty, so I don't think this will be a hot lap for him.
No, he might just come in and put a new set of treads on, I think. Same with Killer, who's got a 1 second penalty.
Well, a bit early for a new set of tyres, I think. We're only 5.5 minutes in.
Dadson comes into the pits now. He's going to get a new set of boots. Prue follows him. The Aston Martin, as we know, back in the past was renowned for very good top speed, but not only that, it had very, very sharp braking, but it was just slightly cumbersome through the corners. Dirty V8 and those things, that's for sure. Screw follows in. Looks like these guys might just, be getting a new lick of fuel. Checking down on
I don't foresee anyone taking fuel on in qualifying. You'd want the lightest load possible. Well, they're all pretty even around the 73 to 76% mark.
Oh, Petey just on the approach to the pit entry there, just took a big chunk in. He's had a big moment somewhere along the lines because he's got a lot of damage on the front of that car. K-Doggy's coming across the line. He's done a 35.7. It's a good job. Hasn't been around Sector 1 too long as K-Dog.
One of our recent additions, but it's a pretty good driver in the limited time I've had to race against him.
I'll tell you what, as well, with the community series and just reaching out, if you do want to jump in a few of these races, more than welcome to, guys. Just jump into the Sector 1 Sim Racing Discord, of course. I would be able to post that, but the stream text just not letting me. And also, if you do like what you see tonight, just make sure you smash that like button. Don't hesitate in smashing the notification bell to bits as well. We'll be able to buy a new one. So we keep an eye on Killer at the moment. He's done a 1 minute 34.4. Very solid lap so far. And with Grassy's up the top of the table, he'll be wanting to go faster. Keep an eye on Dadson at the moment. See what pace he's able to get. His first flying lap.
He is not far off at all. 33.1 versus a 32.9. Oh, that's going to be quite the battle come race day, race time, I think. I highly doubt they're going to be holding that sort of pace throughout the race. I'm expecting around the high 33s to low 34s race pace. I'm happy to be proven wrong, which I kind of have a feeling I will be.
Drew was just setting his first flyer, and I tell you what, that was a very, very close altercation at the centre rest, of course. Brewer's in a beautiful spot here as well. He's actually got the slipstream of Dadson at the moment, so he might just increase up the order a little bit. Like
I was just riding on board with Pruski, and I saw that car of Dadson in front of him, and I keep thinking to myself, these two just always manage to find each other on track.
His hips must be so wide that he can actually use his arm to just sort of curl Dadson in for a cuddle.
It was a few seasons back, it was Ghost and TJ, always finding each other on track, no matter what happened. I think in this day and age, I think it's a Pruer and Dadson kind of shindig.
Just seeing Grassy's at the moment, who had a very, very big moment as he comes into Junkau now. You saw him at the exit of Pinarino. He just had quite a bit of oversteer. He handled it very, very well, though, as we see what he's capable of as he comes over the line. I'll tell you what, this view, looking over the driver, probably the best edition of Gran Turismo 7 in terms of cameras. He's done a 133.5, so he's still got time to find. We're at the moment sitting P4. He's got half a second to make up. So we jump on board with Pruer, who I do believe in the first sector was purple.
I've got nothing on my timer screen, so I'm at a little bit of a loss to say what's happening.
I think Grassy's has pulled to the side. He's hit the wall. Debreck in P13. Now, that's an interesting one. We thought he might be a bit higher up the board than that. We know how quick he can be, and when he puts it all together, he's absolutely one of the fastest here in this lobby. And he's just not getting used to the Jag. Might take some time.
Well, he's just coming out of the pits now with a fresh set of boots. Oh, and he's carrying a 3-second penalty as well. He
so he's
must have had a bit of a pit lane incident on the way in, I would say.
I'd say probably because with GT Sport we can do a pit exit penalty if you cross the blend line. Unfortunately, unlike the V8 supercars, where Will Davison gets fined, we just throw the penalties out. Womble comes across the line. I do believe that's the green beacon half-mast livery that he's running tonight. He's set at 1 minute 37.8, so he's still got a couple more seconds to find time.
He's got a best lap of a 35.1.
Tell you what, Petey
set on his first flyer, actually.
Petey Pops has set a beautiful time at the moment, 34.3 in the Corvette. Of course, Petey Pops driving for CP Motorsports. Tell you what though, he's gone up to P6. That's a brilliant lap, a 34 flat. See if there's any movers and shakers there about the field. VF, he's going to run into Womble at some stage this lap, who seems to be struggling a little bit, just with the tyre life in the M4.
Oh, Pruski's had a moment. He's into the wall.
Oh, he is too. And I'll tell you what, he's clipped the court. It seems, I reckon, he's clipped the apex of Bico de Pato there, and it's just thrown him into oversteer. Grassy's
got his mate Killer in front of him. He could latch onto for a bit of a slipstream. They still have 3 minutes left in qualifying, so anything can happen still.
Just keeping tabs on VF at the moment, who's still stuck behind Wobble. This might help down the back straight though. Actually, this is the main straight. Geez, we've flown through this qualifying session so far. Got a bit of a crosswind at the moment. See what VF can do. Does it
34.0.
Interesting. So it's definitely more time to find his fastest lap of 33.1. We'll get on board with Brewer, who's got his indicator on. He's set at 24.2. And he's clipped the corner!
Oh, he's in the wall again.
So he's clipped the grass on the corner entry there, and it's just speared him right off. So easy to do that too.
He's done well to get away with no car damage.
Yeah, Desica Interlagos not the easiest corner to tame either. As Brewer comes up. I tell you what, Dadson's doing a great job here at the moment. He's set fastest lap. Look at that. He's equaled it twice.
He's also been a bit of a naughty boy. He's about to be burning off a 1 second penalty, which will completely... I think that might end his qualifying session, because we're close to the 14-minute mark in a 15-minute qualifying session, and that penalty burn zone just at the very start of the final. Well, it's not very straight; it is a giant curve, but it just kills your across the finish line speed.
I'll tell you what, okay. The Stranger is it's a bit of a surprise. He's down P8 at the moment in the Corvette. It's definitely a car that can get a good lap time around here. He's coming out of Pinarino now. Just stay on board and you can see what his second sector split's like. 34.2 his fastest lap, so he did it on worn tyres. Corvette, of course, notorious for its V8 engine with fantastic torque. But it can also gobble fuel up as well. But it was one of the premier cars chosen in our last GT4 series.
Oh, hello, VF's decided to pit.
So he must have put the Q in the
interesting tyre. Yes, he has, by the look of it. The pit crew are just standing around, having a bit of a look at that lovely I'm slightly biased here, but the lovely blue and orange Golf livery he has.
Stranger's just gone up one position to P7, and you can look at the gap between him and Filthy. 5 thousandths of a second in it. There's nothing in it at all. Evening, big gun. So well, mate. So we see bolt smoke coming out of the Viper there. I dare say we might be. How much time have we got left in the quali session?
I am just instructing the drivers to finish their lap now.
I'll tell you what, Dadson with a 34.5. So I think he's done. Brewer's got a penalty, so he won't be a factor. Brewer's got a penalty as well. Grassy's has got even quicker at 32.7. K-Doggy here, he's got a penalty, so he'll be done as well. Womble's pulled to the side, staying out of the way. I think Benny's just pulled over as well, that's his lap done. So he's done a 35.4. We wait for the others to come across the line now. We'll see who's on the return home. It's Petey Pops coming down the front straight now. Can he improve? No, he doesn't. 34.9. Solid position though, P8. He'll be happy with that. Stranger's got a giant slipstream here in the form of Womble. Can he improve? No, he doesn't. Interesting. So, looks like a lot of these guys have finished their runs. Grassy's is done. VF's definitely still on the lap. I'll tell you what though, that SLS has really come into its own this race. Thought the Corvette might be the package of choice here, but the SLS has done a fantastic job around here. Of course, it's nose heavy. Dirty big V8 up the front. And you don't want to crash with those gull wing doors either. So we watch VF coming down the front straight now. He's got half a second to find. He'll be the last one across. Can he improve into P1? No, he doesn't. So that'll be qualifying done, and it'll be Grassy's who takes pole position with a 1 minute 32.7. And I'll tell you what, 0.4 of a second, nearly half a second there. That's a fantastic qualifying position. So
What do you say we get these guys underway?
I concur. I reckon we should. Definitely.
I have just made a note of the qualifying positions, just in case anything goes wrong here.
So we look at the Black Light Viper there. It's got a bit of a cyberpunk afterlife nightclub vibes about that. It's a beautiful looking thing. I'll tell you what, Filthy in P6, that's an awesome job. 5 thousandths of a second back to the Stranger as well. Killer in P9, he won't be happy about that.
I don't think so. But don't count him out come race time, because last round at Glen Watkins, he had an absolute blinder of a start and made up 3 positions in the first lap.
Womble, I tell you what,
All right.
on those giant rims.
Let's kick it off.
P11. So, ready when you are, my friend. If you want to hit the second big black S1 button there.
That button has been pushed. So we have Grassy's on pole, followed by VF, then Pruski, followed by Gurr, Dadson, Filthy, Stranger, Ivor Biggins, Killer, Benia, Womble, K-Dog, and bringing up the rear is Debrev.
So here we go, lights are going red. Holding, we're off! I'll tell you what, Grassy's has just had a big start. He had a lot of oversteer though. Won't let me go to the proper view, unfortunately. There we go. As they come through the turn
Womble's
one.
lost it at turn 1. Womble has lost it.
Oh, he has to put this big the back of the field. Who's that? He's had contact with Filthy being hit.
Stranger's gone as well.
No. So things are going bad for the Stranger here. We look up the front, and Dadson's just served Pruski to the side. I'll tell you what, that's not gone well at all. Pruski's actually
and
got
Pruski's in the wall.
Dadson's coming back to redress, though. That means Benier and Killer on the loose. Go up the field. P5 for Killer at the moment.
Good man, good man. Oh, K-Dog and Pruski had a bit of a coming together.
I'll tell you what, Dadson's going to be pretty gutted about that move. We know what he's like. He tries to keep everything clean. He's got 1 second penalty at the moment, so he'll have to serve that.
And all this is doing is giving Grassies at the moment a 2.1 second lead.
I'll tell you what, Killer took a lot of that apex then. He's not going to get an invoice to that. He's got away with that one. Very interesting. So looks like Grassies has just decided to bury the foot. And Petey Pops has gone all the way up to P4 at the moment. That's a fantastic start. Avoiding the carnage early. We see VF.
Well, last round, Killer managed to make up 3 spots in the first lap. This time he's made up 4 spots. So his starts are not to be underestimated. Even if he can't quite get up the front of the field during qualifying, he can certainly do it in the first lap.
I'll tell you what, though, he's got a mirror full of purple behind him with Killer on the loose. Have a look at that. That AMG is looking very aggressive, albeit happy with the way the grill looks, of course.
And just up ahead of them with VF right on Gurr's bumper.
Oh,
Boy,
VF's
having
going to
a
have
look.
a big look as well. I'll tell you what, can he hold it off? He's actually done it. What a move. Great move.
That was fantastic. Very clean, very clinical.
Very precise too. He looked like he might have just understeered off for a second, but he pulled it back. Great car control. As Grassies is currently 2.7 seconds ahead. This is warning signs right now for the field. They're letting him skip away at the moment. We know once he gets a lead, Grassies, he's just going to street away. They don't want to hold him off, but don't want to hold him off. Anyway, letting this one go.
He's having a bit of an argument about the point. Yes,
oh,
definitely.
and Petey's got Killer all over him behind. If they don't want to get too cute as well, he's right behind. These guys they benefited very well from the first corner contact, of course. Very tricky to get through there clean. First turns, of course. Notorious for a lot of contact. You saw that a few years ago. Christian Vettel, of course, in the first turn he got clipped and then went on to win. Here he's down in P7, but he's coming back hard. To rev up to P8. Started from here in the field too. He started very, very well. Filthy's got K-Doggy in front of him. Filthy P10 at the moment. So Filthy trying to make some inroads after that contact at the start of the race, and it looks like he's going to have a big look here at K-Doggy. Can he get it done? Oh, he chose the nose, but K-Doggy runs a bit wide.
Debrev's having a fantastic race. He's made up more positions than Killer has. He's made up 5 positions from the start.
I'll tell you what, K-Doggy's gone a little bit wide here. Filthy's got the up door he needed to open, and he gets it done. Great move, and Dadson's going to go for it as well.
Oh.
2 for the price of 1. How you going?
Oh, there's been a moment.
Oh,
Benier and Petey Pops had a bit of a coming together, and that has just benefited Brewer and Killer, who have said, thank you very much. That was not our fault. We're coming on through.
I'll tell you what, that rejoin for Benier, he nearly got a 3-second penalty. And that's not for a blend line cut. And Grassies has definitely, he's had a big moment somewhere along the line, because that gap is halved. 1.2 seconds. So either he's had a penalty somewhere. Yeah, look at that time, 1:36.1. VF did a 1:33.8. So that's really something big's happened, whether it's been a penalty cut or he's just had a big moment. Brewer's just behind him as well. He's 1.4 seconds behind. This could really close up. 3 seconds between the 3 of them. And Brewer's up to P4 now. He's really benefited from that collection between Petey Pops and Benier.
Yeah, he's got Killer just within slipstream range of him as well. Those two, both Tassie boys, both good mates in real life as well. They race clean and fair, but they don't leave anything on the table. They go hard and they go fair. So I'd say that we'll be seeing more than one good battle from those two tonight.
I tell you what, speaking of big battles, the Breville Datsun at the moment, Datsun's just centred on the Breville actually got through as well, just as they got into SA. So both of them make up 2 spots to Brev, just starting to suffer a little bit maybe with tight life. Doing a great job as Datsun though. After that initial contact, he's starting to make his way back up the field. Filthy following him as well, so these two might get together. And you watch for the fireworks. Got PT Pops ahead, 2.4 seconds, who's in this battle for basically the top 4. And they are starting to make inroads on Grassies at the moment. The time is dropping, so he might be looking to look after the tyres at the moment. Gap stabilised, it's 1.8 seconds, and Guru's starting to drop off these guys. He's definitely left a few tenths behind. Keep up with,
I've just skipped back down the field. Keep an eye on Womble, who after his first lap off, putting him all the way back to 13th, has clawed his way back up to 10th. So, and I do believe he's also racing on controller tonight rather than a wheel. So, just from my perspective, full credit to him, because there's absolutely no way I could race with a controller.
Tell you what, it is the most difficult thing, especially with the dual sense as well. There's so many options you can use for the dual sense. You can turn the haptic triggers down or up. You can now play with the throttle, the way it, how can I say it? The way it goes up and down, or not just up and down, but like the actual velocity of it. You can make it less linear, which is very, very interesting. That's a nightmare for me, because the more options you give me, the more likely it is I am to stuff things up and make everything worse. Speaking of making things worse, Pruski's got a 1 second penalty, so there's something with Killer, because Killer's now ahead. Prua's going to have to slow down. He's made up big ground after the lap 1 drama, and he is going to drop.
Oh, he's copped a big... Oh, Datsun goes past him. He will not be happy. There will be some swear words coming out from underneath that helmet.
And if I know those swear words, they won't be pleasant. It's filthy. It's just behind him.
Will there be a turn 1 send?
No. He can get a good line through the centre S and out of the curve to Sol, make a move on the back straight. Can he get that line though? As Womble closes in onto Brev just behind. Very, very interesting little battle this one. Womble's actually made some good ground. So Brev's done a 1 minute 36.6, so I assume Womble's in the 1:35 still. He is. 1 minute 35 flat, so he's made a second up. So Brev runs wide, and that's all the invitation Womble needed. I'll tell you what though, looking at Filthy and PA, he's got Prua right in front of him, Datsun in front of them, and PD Pops is now back up to P5 after that phenomenal start. This battle it's just going to keep
back up
going.
the front, just keeping my eye there. That gap between Grassies and VF has come down a little bit more, down to 1.4 seconds.
1 minute 33.4 set on the last lap as well by Grassies for the fastest lap of the race. He's got
with a 33.5 going to VF on that last lap as well. So these two are not mucking about.
No, there's only a 10th in it between lap times. So 34.3 set by Grassies on the last lap, 33.9 for VF.
I'm just having a bit of a scan through the fuel and tyre situation as well. Grassies and VF are pretty much neck and neck in terms of tyre wear and fuel usage. In third place, Gur has used, a noticeable amount more fuel, so he's still sitting above half a tank, so I think he should be good, but he might lose some time come pit stop time. Killer, just that little bit higher than Gur in the fuel. PD Pops, he is quite heavy on the tyre wear, and very close to half a tank, so he is using a lot of the car to stay where he is.
Oh, sorry to cut in there, Luke, but Dadson
Nope,
just...
I saw that.
Right up the rear end of Petey.
I was wondering if that was a moment or if that was a bit of a touch from Dadson, and that pretty much answered my question.
I tell you what, if Petey's struggling with the tyres that much, that'll explain it. He braked a fair bit early there. I don't think Dadson was ready for that. And it's brought Brewer back into this too.
Dadson's actually pretty, like, almost exactly the same with him on terms of tyre wear. He's a noticeably better in the fuel situation. And speaking of the fuel situation, skipping back to Pruski, who has actually used more fuel than Dadson. That's a surprise. Oh, as he goes quite wide at turn 1. He's got Filthy right up his bumper, who is looking a little bit healthier on the tyre use and the fuel use than Brewer, so he may not need to overtake him. He could just jump him in the pits, which was...
Pruski's gone wide.
As I say that.
Commentator's curse, I tell you what, we're putting them on Brewer at the moment because he's actually got a lot of time left in that car. He's definitely on a PB that first second Chris you saw. Brewer might be just starting to hold him up a little bit as you watch just in front. Oh, he's giving him a bit of love tap. Brewer won't mind that as he's getting the hips out. But the problem now that these guys face is they're losing time to the front guys. They're going to lose time to Dadson, Petey Pops as well. And Killer's starting to come back to them too.
Speaking of the guys up the front, that gap between Grassies and VF has just started to stretch out now. It's out to 2.3 seconds.
Oh, Petey Pops went very, very wide then, and Dadson's made the position count. So Petey's really, really struggling at the moment. Let's let Killer go though. Petey stays out, so if he's struggling on the tyre life at the moment, it might be better off just to come in and pit and put a new set of boots on and in fresh air, just try and make that time back, but then you compromise yourself later in the race. Oh, look at the smoke coming from Brewer's SLS there.
Very much so compromised. Last race, probably made a pit stop a lap, maybe 2 laps too early, and 3 corners from the finish line. Dazza put I'd like to describe it another way, but I'll be humble here, and he pulled a fantastic move on me around the outside with much fresher tyres than I had, and I just couldn't do anything about it. So, yeah, it's disappointing to lose a spot like that.
Speaking of not being able to do anything about it at the moment, Petey Pops has a 1 second penalty, and he's got Brewer right up his rear end. I'll tell you what, Brewer's going to be seeing red at the moment.
I don't think he's waiting for the overtaking zone. I think he's just going to send it right down the inside.
He's got it done, and Filthy's going to have a big look as well.
Oh, around the outside there, that's
Petey's
brave.
just hit him wide as well. Filthy might just go up here as they come into Junkow.
Yeah.
Petey's
well done,
really
Filthy.
struggling.
Oh,
you see the contact in the back. There is big drama.
Oh.
Filthy's going to be very, very filthy about that one. The move was on. Petey's struggling.
I was about to say, Filthy's taken the safe option and just decided to tuck back in behind him to wait for the penalty zone. And then it's all gone pear-shaped.
It's turning up roses, though, for Dobrev and Womble at the moment. P7 and P8 now for these two. And they started towards the back of the field, so it's been a great drive from both of them. 25 seconds
Dobrev from 13th up to 7. He's on the charge. He's having a great race so far. And Womble, after his first lap incident, putting him back to 13th, he's made his way back to 8th, which is, that's fantastic. It's good to see him out there and racing again.
Yeah, he's had a lot of dramas in terms of his hardware as well, getting the new wheel to adjust to his PS5 and other third-party software he's needed to actually get working, and he'll be wrapped that he's on track. He's still a little bit glitchy at the moment, but that's to be expected for Gran Turismo 7 servers, unfortunately. We know what happened at the last World Series down in the Hangar 7 there at the Red Bull area in Salzburg, I believe.
Ah, yes. Although, to be honest, the lobby tonight, at least from what I've seen so far, there's a little bit of what I call skipping, but there's no major movement of the car from left to right. Like, it's not jumping from one side of the track to the other. It's not moving 3 or 4 car lengths forward and back.
Tell you what,
which as a driver, it gives you so much more confidence. Like, you know you can get close to the car in front of you and run bumper to bumper with him. Whereas, you know, in recent times, we haven't had that confidence. You're terrified to get anywhere close to another car because you just have no idea where they really are.
The Strange has really actually clawed back a lot of time. I remember at the first lap, he was 12 seconds behind K-Doggy, and he is tearing time out of these guys at the moment. He's just on the back of K-Doggy now, so he'll probably make a move shortly. Oh, K-Doggy's gone a little bit hesitant there on the brakes. As we look back at that Corvette, I'll tell you what, that Corvette is a beautiful looking thing.
VF's having a good run as well. He's finding some very consistent pace in the mid to low 34s. He's got the gap down to Grassy. He's back down to 1.7 seconds.
He's started to eke a little bit of time out of Grassy's, which is very, very interesting because at one stage it was out to a 3-second gap and it's just fluctuated a little bit. You feel like the Grassy's, after that qualifying session, he could very well just be controlling the tempo of the race. Tell you what,
I have a suspicion, based on the information I can see and our viewers can't, he might be looking after his tyres because there is a noticeable difference. Fuel-wise, he and VF are neck and neck, but in terms of tyre usage, VF has actually got the slight advantage here.
Brewer in P3 at the moment, and he's in a bit of no man's land, so he's got 6 seconds in front of him to VF, and he's got 9 seconds behind him to Killer. So he's able to just run his own race at the moment, but can't really seem to make inroads to the guys in front of him. But if those two start scrapping and scrapping and scrapping, Brewer's going to claw up a lot of time very, very quickly, and he will want those two to go ham and sauce on each other, that's for sure.
And then behind Gur, you've got Killer, Dadson, and Prua, who are all 1.2 to 1.5 seconds of each other.
Yeah, you can throw a blanket over these three, and if it wasn't for the dramas at the start of the race for Dadson and Prua, they would very well be up in this battle for podiums. As such,
oh, hang on, I've missed something back here. I think Womble's had another moment. Because he was right behind Dobrev, and all of a sudden he's back in P13.
He's 1 minute 56 his last lap, so he must have had a moment. Is he pitted? We haven't seen, is he?
Wait, he has pitted. He has got fresh tyres on. Refueled. Okay, he hasn't had a moment. Okay.
That's interesting. So he's in fresh air on a fresh set of boots, and he will be concentrating like mad to try and make up time. It's a very shrewd move at the moment, and what's Dobrev going to do about that?
That's a double-edged sword. While early on in this stint, he will have the advantage over the guys with worn tyres. It may come back to bite him later in the race.
That's the thing as well. You really don't want to later on in the race struggle with tyre life and then just get passed everywhere. You've made up so much ground, but you don't want to...
as he goes off track at the final turn. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Tell you what, the Stranger and K-Dog, he's still battling here for P12. Fantastic little battle. Been going for a couple of laps now. K-Dog, he's putting up a stout defence. The Stranger's no slouch behind the wheel. He is a former race winner here. I do believe he won a couple of races in the Porsche Super Cup. He's a quick driver, that's for sure. Hailing out of Team 53.
Alright, we've just ticked over the halfway mark, so as Grassy's and VF start to come down the main straight here, will either of them blink? Who's going to blink? Oh, Grassy's is in. VF follows him.
Yeah, you sort of have
What's
to
the
do
fuel?
that.
Oh,
Ooh.
VF's got the slight
advantage.
fuel save. Yep, Gur's in behind them as well. Let's see what Killer does.
Brewer's run a much longer tank though. Look at the difference.
Killer's coming in. Whoa, Gur has used a lot of fuel.
So he's in a real. He's going to be in a world of pain. Same with Killer's well behind. So VF and Grassy's here have had fantastic pace while being able to make the fuel difference count.
PD Pops is he's carrying some damage to the front left wheel and his front aero. He's elected to stay out and run an extra lap. Interesting choice.
I don't think that's the right move there. Sorry, PD, but the other guys are going to be on brand new tyres and they're going to have no damage at all. And as you can see in the last lap, 1 minute 39.7. As VF
comes out just in front of him. What's going to... Oh, yep, smart move, PD, smart move.
Yeah, it's not his fight, unfortunately. He's just going to have to grin and bear it.
Yeah, that is not the place to send it.
K-Doggy and the Stranger are going around again, and they're still fighting.
Well, the thing is between K-Dog... between Iverbiggin, a.k.a. PD Pops, and K-Dog, who is also elected to go around again, there is over a quarter of a tank of fuel difference between those two. So that 4 seconds that's between K-Dog and Iverbiggin, I think K-Dog can make that up in the pits based off the amount of fuel that he still has in the tank.
So looking at this battle in P7 at the moment, Dadson and Pro have jumped Killer on the loose, who was really affected by that fuel difference. But now it's essentially going to be a repeat of lap 1 with Brewer and Dadson fighting it. I'll tell you what, after the amount of incidents that Brewer's had go his way tonight, he's going to be seeing red. Even though
I think Killer might have taken the fuel penalty with the extra refuel with the intention of, I'm just going to go hammer and tong. He is just going to give it everything he's got to try and beat Pruski and Dadson. And that extra fuel will give him the edge to be able to do it.
The Stranger's just going to look at the difference. Look at the difference between PD Pops and the Stranger's fuel.
That's a quarter of a tank. That's
he's gone around.
That's a great fuel save from the Stranger.
Yeah, he's gone around 2 laps more than everybody else, and he's been able to keep the fuel at a quarter of a tank. That's a fantastic fuel saving job he's done.
3/4 of a tank for 23 minutes of racing. Wow.
That's a fantastic job. Benny is in P11 at the moment, and I think he would have been affected by the fuel as well. A lot of these guys running the SLS would have looked at Grassy's and VF's numbers and gone, how have they done that? But that's put Womble up to P10 with the undercut. Very shrewd move. He's got Filthy 3.7 seconds ahead of him. Debrev's actually really in trouble at the moment. Oh, there's been contact as well, as you see. Filthy's just hit the rear end, but he's addressed it. Very, very gentlemanly-like. We know Debrev, he's one of the fairest racers in all of Sector 1. He will not make contact deliberately. That Viper is going to be all over that rear end, that's for sure. And that's a pretty evil-looking sight from behind.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to be looking in my mirrors and seeing that, that's for sure.
But these guys, I feel, have been grossly affected by the fuel difference as well, because they are 11 seconds behind Killer.
Just looking back up the front of the field, I'm seeing danger signs here. Grassy's is out to a 4.2 second lead over VF.
Yeah, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say the fat bird sung. She might have hummed a few bars, though.
And then there's 11.7 seconds from VF back to K-Dog in third, who is still yet to pit. So that's not a true P3. Be interesting to see where he comes out of the pits into, whether he runs into traffic or
he's
gets some clear air.
Consistent. if you have a look at his lap timers at the moment, he's still sitting 37, so it's not like he's out of pace, but Brewer on fresher tyres, a 34.4.
Oh, as Grassy's runs a 32.8 race lap.
Yeah, I might need a bucket. That is...
Wow, I'm pretty sure his qualifying time was a 32.9 or thereabouts.
That's just sickening.
Oh. Although, he is right on half a tank of fuel at this point. Will he be fuel compromised towards the end?
Would a two-stop... no, a two-stop really wouldn't work around here, that's for sure. The lap's too small.
Oh, I think he would have done his first stop a lot earlier than he did if he was planning a two-stop.
I feel like if Dadson and Brewer start scrapping again, Killer on the loose is there to pick up the pieces, and that'll be in the back of Dadson and Brewer's minds after all that contact that's happened. And a 12-second gap to Filthy, who has cleared Debrev now.
Well, let's be honest, there's only a second between Dadson and Pruski, and as Dadson runs a little bit wide at the corner names escape me to be... Oh, and he's picked up a half-second penalty for his trouble too.
Oh, no.
I was about to say, with only a second between them, the chances of them scrappy are pretty good, and Dadson's brought it all on himself, running wide, picking up the penalty, and I don't think Brewer wants to wait till the penalty zone. I think he just wants to get this done.
Yeah, he tried to put the nose up on the outside of Pinarino there, which is a very brave move, I'll tell him that. But with this half a second penalty, Pruski should close up.
Yeah, he will definitely have it here.
Daxon's gone wide. That might be the invitation he needed.
Yep, gone.
Yep, straight past. Tell you what, that was like a lightning bolt going past then for Daxon.
That might also be some motivation for Killer behind them, who was at 3.7 seconds. Now he's down to 3 seconds behind him. That might be dangling the carrot for him.
Yeah, and it's just dropped under 3 seconds now for Killer. He's got plenty of pace in that car, and as you can see from the guys up the front, he knows that the car can go even quicker. It's just up to him and how much he concentrates and where he puts the car, of course. So
down in 7th.
Womble with that undercut has actually gone up to P9, and it's actually benefited the Stranger that Benny has been fighting with Womble, because Stranger's up to P11, so he's finally, after about 10,000 years, got past K-Doggy, who's held him up with a very solid defence.
Oh, K-Dog has come out, or staying out long has hurt K-Dog. He's back in P13 now.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Benny is having a big sniff here though at Womble. Oh, not around the outside, surely not.
Oh, that's not the place I would do it. That's very brave.
Oh, the inside
that's a send. The Stranger says, thank you, I'm coming through.
Oh, and Womble, he's just dropped 2 spots through the space of 2 corners there.
Oh, I don't know about that move from Benny here on Womble.
Yeah, he did show quite a lot of the nose, and the gap was closing, but yeah, that's a tricky one to explain.
Yeah.
We'll let the stewards and powers that be decide that one.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one. Full credit to the Stranger. He had no involvement in that incident, but was in the right spot to take advantage of it and say, oh, I'm coming through, not a problem.
I'll tell you what, Petey Pops here is really, really suffered the most in terms of the fuel numbers. He came in with 1% of fuel. Compared to everyone else, that was about 15 to 35. He would have lost 4 or 5 seconds there to the pits. So we've got a yellow flag ahead. Oh, there's been a coming together between Benny and the Stranger, and it's caught Petey Pops out. What has happened there? It looks like the Stranger's addressing, so I dare say there's been contact between him and Ben. And Benny has actually had an engine failure by the looks of it.
Oh, Stranger's gone too. I was just about to say, we've lost the driver.
No.
Benny is gone. Stranger's gone.
So that has been a massive engine failure. The damage too much, so there was contact, and it looks like there might have been contact between Benier and the Stranger. And I think the Stranger, by the looks of it, trying to readdress, has been the one to make the contact. Tell you what, that's let Womble's pressure off the hook though, because he had Benier and he had the Stranger bearing down his neck.
There's a lot of no man's land at the moment between the drivers.
There is, and that...
The closest we've got is Pruski and Dadson with a 1 second gap.
Yeah, and it's not like Dadson's let him go either here. He's doing a great job.
He's hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, he's just sitting on the coattails a little bit and possibly just looking after the car, maybe.
Just looking at the fuel and tyre situation. Tyre wear, they are pretty much even. Dadson does have a slight fuel advantage over Pruski. Both of them are under half a tank, but there is a noticeable difference, and there's still 8 minutes and 15 seconds to go, plus finishing the lap that you're on at the time, so who knows?
So looking at the last 3 laps for Pruski here, 34.1, a 34.2 and 34.3 as Dadson flashes the lights behind him. So yeah, Pruski's had the better lap times the last 3 laps. Looking at the last 3 laps there for Dadson, a 35.8, a 34.5 and a 34.4. But it seems like Pruski has turned from the hunter to the hunted because Dadson has not let him go at all. And it's definitely helped his pace over the last lap or two.
I don't want to be a pessimist, but I think the proverbial lady is warming up her vocal cords as Grassi's has now extended his lead out to 7.2 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's tuning the band up.
And he's done a bit of fuel saving the last few laps because he and VF are now pretty much even on fuel, so the advantage the VF have has disappeared.
I'll tell you what, looking at the lap times that Drew's set, the last lap, 34.9. Wonder if he's just running into some troubles at the moment in terms of tyre life, because he's lost quite a bit of time to Brewer.
I think he might have either copped a penalty or had a little moment, because his tyre wear is quite good, actually, especially compared to Brewer behind him.
Yeah,
and he's also quite good on fuel, so either a penalty or a bit of a moment in that third sector, which I'll admit is incredibly easy to do. You get on the throttle a little bit too early on a corner, and yeah, the rear end will just step out on you with zero hesitation at this track.
And it also depends on the car you're driving as well. The SLS is a very tail-happy weapon. It loves nothing more than just munching on tyres and asking for more. We see Filthy here in P7. He's just in a league of his own at the moment. 10 seconds behind Killer, who himself is also on his own.
Grassy must have had a bit of a moment. The lead is 2 seconds, has disappeared off that lead.
Oh, and he's nearly run wide there as well. So last lap a 36.3 compared to a 34.6 for VF. So he has lost just under 2 seconds. Whether he's just gone wide at Juncker on the exit or just been unable to pull it up through the centre S. It's just...
Well, meanwhile, checking back in 4th and 5th with Peru and Dadson. Just still hovering at around the 1 second mark.
Yeah, I tell you
what.
A
lot of smoke coming off that right-hand side of Prua's car.
Dadson's doing a fantastic job to stay with him as well. He really is. We give this guy a lot of flack, call him the Gillette man. Back yourself. He's one of the hardest people on himself in the field. He's doing a fantastic job.
He's an absolute weapon behind the wheel when he does back himself.
That's very correct, and he's not one to... he runs a little bit wide. Put the Moz on him a little bit.
Yeah, I might just jump off him, let him get on with doing the race without the commentator's curse.
It seems like they might be starting to struggle for tyre life a little bit here because the lap times have dropped.
Further back down the field, Womble has Ivor Biggin, aka Petey Pops, just over a second behind him.
Yeah, that green beacon half-mast livery looks fantastic, and if you know the Red Mist guys, they do a phenomenal job with their liveries.
Just quietly, Womble has just dipped under a quarter of a tank of fuel, so there's 4 minutes remaining. He might have enough left, but Ivor Biggin behind him can just, as he is just redlining that Corvette, and he's going to have a look here down the main straight.
I tell you what.
Let's see what happens into turn one. He's got it done before turn one, into the braking zone.
Womble didn't want to give that one up, that's for sure. You could see he really put the nose in. They come through the centre S and come out and curve at the Sol. Womble's got a fantastic run. A little bit of a lump tap there, saying, honey, I'm home.
I'm still here, I haven't gone anywhere.
No, but Petey Pops has the fresher car here, and I'll tell you what, that might be that. Womble's going to have a big argument about that.
You were saying?
It's compromised his exit a little bit, though. A great little battle, this. Tell you what, though, bit of mixed fortunes for Petey tonight. He was running as high as P4 at one stage on merit. Just let the tyres die on him, and he's had a bit of contact. CP will have to probably fix that car up and get him ready to go again next week.
Back up at the Pruitt-Dadson battle, 7/10 in it. Dadson making a few little gains on him.
Yeah, it just seems that through some of the corners, Dadson's just got the slight advantage, and then in other sections of the track, Pruitt's just being able to hold on a little bit. As Pruitt and Dadson both run wide, no worry about track limits there. Tell you what, this is a great little battle. Look at that, Dadson's just flashing the lights. Been a great job from both these guys, considering the drama, the damage, everything that's happened to both of them. They're doing a fantastic job to be top 5. But it's going to be one of those what could have been moments.
Well, 2 minutes to go, so there will be this lap plus one more, I believe. So if Dadson's going to make something happen, he's running out of time to do it.
Yeah, and it all depends on his tyre life as well. He needs to have really good front end grip around here. You want to make sure the front end has got the better grip for braking. There is a lot of heavy braking.
Pruitt in the Mercedes and Dadson in the Aston, their tyre life is near on identical.
Just wondering if Grassy's has got any tyre or fuel issues at the moment, because the gap has really come down.
Oh, Grassy's is on the flashing red for fuel.
Oh.
Whereas VF still has about a fifth of a tank.
I tell you what, if it comes down to it, and there is a fuel issue there for Grassy's, because the gap is really dropping now.
I think Grassy's is in fuel save maximum at the moment.
I tell you what, if he runs out of fuel, we'll offer him a contract at Deeds. It's more than welcome. VF can smell blood in the water. Just checking in on this battle now with Pruitt and Dadson. It seems like the gap's still stagnant at the moment. Might need to be risk-taking from Dadson to come home.
That lead from Grassy's in just one section has gone from 3 seconds back up to 5.7. I think he's done his little fuel save that he needs to, and he's realised, right, I can get back on it now. He's got enough to get to the end.
Well, I just wonder if VF's had a big moment somewhere, because that time was really dropping. It still is dropping there, so Grassy's is definitely saving fuel, that's for sure. 37.2, so yeah, VF's had a moment somewhere.
VF has crossed the line in second. The timer ran out for him.
Yeah, so Grassy's is going to get a bit of a look at me lap. Screwer comes over in P3. Very clean, very solid drive tonight. As we look behind, Prua's going to eat this battle up. Dadson's tried everything, but he'll get P4, Prua. Dadson P5. Killer loose. Fuel issues hanging a little bit, but he's kept it straight and true in this second stint. He'll come home in P6 in that absolutely gorgeous Mercedes SLS. Filthy P7. I'm going to call that the Afterlife Viper. Tell you what, Petey Popson P8 and Womble P9. Been a good little battle for this second half of the race between these two.
So Grassi's is out on his look at me lap, and he is on absolute vapor. There is nothing left in the tank.
Womble P9, K-Doggy P10, Debrev. He had a very strong opening stint. He's just struggled with the fuel. P11, but back up the front now. And I tell you what, it started from the qualifying. He was half a second clear of the field. And I think he has actually run out of fuel, so he will get that contract from Deeds.
He has. He's gone. He is completely out of fuel, but he doesn't care because he knows that he was the only one to get onto lap 26.
He's done it. I'll tell you what, Lucky, you might have to fight him off in terms and contracts. True Deeds driver right there as he flashes the lights. Comes home with absolutely no fuel at all. Grassi's wins it at Interlagos. What a race. That was fantastic, fantastic fun to watch that. Look at that beautiful
Well done,
suit,
Grassi's.
Yeah, he commanded that race from the get-go. As we just trying to find out where do I look at the race results. This is the problem with Gran Turismo Sport. I can't find the race results. But we know who took out the flag as well. So Grassi's P1, of course, VF and P2, and then that was a great.
There was Gur in P3.
Yep, Prua in P4, Dadson in P5.
Pruski P4. Yep. Killer finished in 6th. Filthy in 7th. Ivor Biggins in 8th. 9th, I believe, was Benia. 10th was Womble.
9th was
and
Womble.
11th.
Because Benia had the engine failure, and so did the Stranger.
Oh, sorry. Womble. There was someone in front of Womble.
Might have been Petey Pops. No, K-Doggy was 11th. Oh, no. Womble was P9. K-Doggy was P10. I can't remember if it was 11th. Debrev was P11.
Debrev had a moment.
Now, I'll tell you what, that was phenomenal racing all round by those guys. That there was the drama at turn 1, of course. There were a couple of questionable moves, but all in all, I reckon that was a fantastic night of racing. And as long as the stream looks nice and pretty and the angle's right, the commentary's good, everything's flowing, the chat's been pretty good tonight as well. All right, it's been overall a pretty nice night to enjoy some racing overall.
I thoroughly enjoyed watching that.
Yep, so I think the next race, if I remember correctly, because there has been a calendar change from what I have heard. Let me have a look. By the way, guys, if you want to pick your driver of the race, more than welcome to. Who would you give yours to, Luke?
That's fairly tough. I might have to get back to you on that one, mate.
I think I'm going to give mine, and I don't like being biased or anything like that. And people might think I might be a bit biased here because he's a likable bloke. I'm going to give mine to Prua because the drama that he had to deal with, and the fact that he fought back to where he was for a top 4, is a great result. It really is.
I can't give mine to Prua because he's my TO, and that would show a huge amount of bias. So I think I might. I'm torn between two drivers. I'm going to give my driver of the day to Gur. Started in P4, avoided all the drama, had a solid race, finished in P3.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job, and he handled that Corvette really, really nicely as well. Lead Corvette for the entire race, and yeah, clean set of boots. So not a bad pick overall. Anyway, guys, from what I'm seeing, next week's race will be, and correct me if I'm wrong on this one, Blue Moon Bay Infield.
That
Oh,
is correct.
that is fantastic little track as well for the Group 4 cars, because you've got the big long straight at the front, followed by some very fast kinks as well. You got a couple of hairpins there, and it can be a very brutal track in terms of passing and opportunities and overtaking. It's going to be a lot of strategy in that one as well, which will be, well, all up, it's going to be a spicy little meatball, isn't it?
I found that track was one of those that when I first drove it, I was like, I absolutely hate this track, stuff this place, I'm not doing this. And the more time I spent there, I've actually learned to really love that track, which is a little bit disappointing for me because I'm not going to be available to either race or do anything next weekend, as my lovely sister has decided to hold her wedding next weekend. So I'm going to be out of town.
Yeah, no, wedding's a good occasion. Trust me on that one now. Yeah, thank you to everyone for watching tonight's race. I hope you enjoyed that one, of course. Any final words from your end, Luke?
Thank you to everyone for joining us and for putting up with me. Any feedback, whether it's positive or negative, is always, preferably constructive, of course, is always appreciated. And I just hope you all enjoyed the racing tonight.
Yeah, and I, from my end, thank you to everybody that did watch tonight and got involved. It was great racing all round, and thanks to the drivers as well for stepping in tonight, of course. It's fantastic fun to watch from our end, and thank you to Luke as well for stepping in, doing race directing. I know you really, really wanted to race that one, but no, when the Call of Duty came,
It is what it is.
So, no, on behalf of everybody here at Sector 1, including the admin team, drivers, streamers, everybody, thank you guys for watching tonight's event, and we look forward to seeing you next weekend, Blue Moon Bay Infield, and this is Karen, aka Brent, signing off for tonight's event. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.